What's up, YouTube? Yeah, I tried to put my headphone in, so hopefully you guys can hear me on this one. Sitting outside. It is cool. Yeah, I know all who played a part, what part they played, and how big. Problem is, a few of them, I'm trying not to use benefit of the doubt, but I kind of have to. For a couple of them. There's a lot of crazy shit going on around the world and with me. Everybody that said they were for me turned against me quicker than anything as soon as they thought it was a female that was responsible. Well, even with David doing what he did, she's still responsible for that too. Yeah, she's the mother, and she knew that that boy was unstable, and she deliberately did not get him help, and deliberately left him alone with them for something to happen. When it wasn't one occasion, it wasn't two occasions, it was multiple, and they were serious. And the other kids were completely innocent. They weren't doing anything. They were shocked. Another thing that's going to get blamed on is dad. Imagine that. Even though I never showed him to be that way, I never taught him to be that way. And nobody has looked at his mother and her background. She's worse than me. I was defending myself against bullies. She was a bully. She stabbed a dude for saying hi to her. All because he said, you know, he was just up there to say hi, and she was a teenager trying to act like a gangster. Had a butter knife next to her, and she told him that she was going to stab him, and he said, "No, I don't believe you will," and she did. Well, maybe he would. No, he wasn't. He wasn't doing anything wrong. How do you know? Because I know. I've known this family since I was in middle school. Now, I didn't know her mother too well, but I knew she was a fruitcake. I just didn't know to what extent. And yet, just like the comedian talking about how his wife's always late, and he said, I picked this woman out of the women near me, and that would probably say yes if I asked them to marry me. That's basically what I did. Hey, my fault that my county's women are fucking nuts, dude. I heard one chick telling dudes that the whole reason why she's better than them is because their brain's not developed until they're in their 30s. No, that's not the case because men are still able to outperform women, even supposedly without a brain fully developed. So that's not true. Nice try, though. And you also did bring up the fact that women don't fully develop a lot of stuff with them until they're in their late 30s. So that's after men. There's a lot of other things that are developed earlier that are better. Like the ability to understand logic, reason, etc. real math instead of girl math. I don't want to hear the other ones. I don't. Yeah, right. You lack in those areas too. It's not a competition. It's a fact. Even the Bible says that Adam is first. That means man is first. Get over it, girls. Yeah, that doesn't mean they treat you like crap. That also means you don't sit there and play coercive or little spy games to manipulate and get what you want so you don't have to work so hard. And then throw a fit when you're caught and be like, I'm just a girl. No, doesn't go that way. You're responsible for what you do just like anybody else does, even though you try to place the accountability on everybody else. And that's what turns things into a 5-year-old fight. And that's why you get your way. Because you'll pout and throw a fit, and people will believe you. It's exactly how my exes got out of the shit they did. Yeah. And they don't realize that it's on camera. Yeah. The one threw a fit right in the courthouse because they wouldn't give her a real lawyer. They gave her a public defender, and she was mad. So she threw a fit, and they gave her one of the best lawyers, and ended up making that lawyer strike her appearance because my ex didn't show up 3 times in a row. Yeah. Normally, if you don't show up to court, they you get in trouble, right? Nope. They dismissed it and postponed it. Well, didn't dismiss it, but they postponed it and then postponed it again. And then the third time, the only reason why they didn't postpone it was because the judge was about to, but then she got in trouble. And yeah, that's in court record. So be my guest. That's what I'm telling you. These bitches are lying. Just because I'm a redneck and I swear a little bit, or I have a little bit of to me because I'm a dude. I'm not a little girl. Oh yeah, I'm a bad person, and oh, I'm wrong. No, it all speaks for itself if you look at it. Even the one lawyer called an attitude with me that I called until he started looking into it, and he was like, "Why is this and why is that? This was closed with prejudice, and she's doing it this way." And I said, "Yeah, any which way she can." He's like, "What is she so mad about?" I said, "Because I won't be with her." He's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, that's basically what it is. She ain't gonna say that, but that's what it is. It's because she looks like an idiot. She knows I'm gonna tell everybody what the fuck she did." That asked, I wasn't gonna put it out there openly. I did about what she did with Levi because she was friends with the wife, and the wife needed to know what the hell her friend was doing, and that's when I was told that she knew. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? But whatever, I did my part. I didn't know his wife knew, so I figured, hey, you need to know this. This is what your husband's doing behind your back. Oh yeah, I've done it to my brother, my sister, my friends. Yeah, don't expect me to cover up your fucking lying, cheating shit. And I've told every one of them. If they ever come to me and ask me, I'm telling them. And that's why they didn't like me. I don't care. I'm not here to hide your dirt. Stop doing it. You shouldn't be doing it in the first place. You want to do that? Tell people you want to be in an open relationship and see other people. If they don't agree, guess what? You don't mess with that person. It's that simple. But of course, it's not the case. Bunch of bullshit, really. I really don't care what people think of me. I'm not out here for a popularity contest. Never was. That's what you all are out here for. That doesn't mean I am. If I was, I think I'd be doing it a lot differently than when I'm doing it. The whole reason why I'm just throwing it out there is because I don't really care about the way visual effects, all this other crap. I don't care about none of that. Like I said, I ain't out here to be all jazzy and pretty and eye catching and all that. No, it's just not me. My kids weren't that way either. They were smart and they liked, you know, fixing things in society that were broken. And that told me that I was teaching my kids right. What happened with David was his mother. It started when he was young. She was doing it behind my back, and this is what it progressed into. Yeah. And this is why CPS was after her at first when they first showed up there. And because I protected her because I didn't know all this stuff was going on, they started going after me because they thought I knew, or I guess they thought I was a part of whatever they seen. They should have just fucking told me. Because, yeah, I didn't. There was stuff that they were catching her doing that I didn't catch her doing. I caught her doing other things. But no, all they wanted to do was try and flex their brain, and they were wrong multiple times. They seen stuff from Tiffany because of the BPD, and I had already researched it way before and thought I already had a handle on what it was. But apparently, they had new research. And yeah, I was wrapped in kids and going through trying to hold a family together. It's pretty difficult, especially when you have silent assassins that are jealous because your family's looking good and they're not the ones doing it. Which, in my mind, as long as they, didn't hurt the kids, did everything they could to progress their learning abilities and, take care of the house and whatnot, then yeah, you are. But you weren't doing that. You were lying about it. And then when you were caught, you wanted to act like everything was my fault. It's not my fault. That was your duties. I did mine, whether I was well rested and fed or not. You were well rested, you were fed, you were taken care of, and you tried to make people think that you weren't. Just so you could get away with not doing the shit that you were supposed to be doing. Ridiculous. Why didn't you just go to school? You would have been a dental assistant for years by now. Yeah, Nolan was at 4 years old in 2019. Yeah, you would have been done school at around that time. Maybe a little bit more after. Or you would have been in it just before Nolan was born and then went back to it after Nolan was old enough. Because you don't like, well, at least you said you didn't like missing first steps and all that stuff. You acted like that really bothered you. But doesn't seem like you care about that now. Doesn't seem like you cared about that when you put them in harm's way and didn't care about it. And you can keep telling these people and making them believe this bullshit because it's a new group and they don't know you. But I know you. And this isn't the first time you did this. No, the only reason you had my benefit of the doubt is because I loved you. That's the only reason. And you used that as a weapon. And the only person you hurt was you and the kids. Of course you hurt me with the kids. I know that was your goal. You were trying anything you could to hurt me. And what you didn't realize is you already devastated me. What the fuck? Problem is, in your brain, you wouldn't take any of the accountability for your actions. So, in your delusional little world you created, I was the problem when it wasn't me. It was you. You don't have to come to terms with that. You will. This whole world ain't here for nothing. Something created it, and we're going to have to answer to it when we leave. So will all of you. So will I. I guarantee you. Mine's going to go a lot better than what y'all think. This world is not the same without them here. They could have done a lot of good, and they're gone. That's your fault. Jen, you erased Jasmine. What that little girl was, you murdered that child. Yes, you did. She's a Satanist. Are you kidding me? That's on you. 100%. No, the only real life she ever had was when she was with me. Tiffany started fucking that up. Again, out of jealousy. I don't know why you women get this way, and don't tell me it wasn't that, because Jen did the same thing. So did Bethany. I've watched my sister do it. I've watched my aunts do it. I've watched other women do it out of jealousy. Ruin their whole relationship all because they're jealous of the dude they're with. Because he's a good dude. And it makes them look bad. Straighten your shit up. Now, it's easier for them to attack him. You're fucking ridiculous, man. All of you. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, a lot of people have told me, oh, they're going to keep manipulating and take your life away. You need to go. I'm not running from none of you bitches. Not a fucking one of you. You can keep painting this picture and putting this stuff on backgrounds and getting your way. It's just more for you to answer for. Oh, yeah. Jen's an evil little bitch. She always has been. And her dad knows that. Charlie, I will never forgive you for what you've done there. You asked me to be honest with you. I was honest with you. And you still took me as a liar. I was honest with you the whole time. You didn't have to ask me to be honest with you. You'll figure that out. It'll be too late, but you'll figure that out. She lied to you, buddy. Big time. I didn't do none of that. None of it. Not even close. Keep taking shots at me. I can take every one you're going to throw. See, they think they've won. They haven't won. This fight is definitely not over. I'm still breathing. And you all have poked your ugly little heads of all the ones that are trying to keep me down and lie and manipulate people. So thank you, because now I know who you all are. Oh yeah, I know who I have to prove wrong, and that's the worst thing to do to somebody with ADHD is give them a goal to prove people wrong. Oh yeah, I can work anywhere. Remember that, right? Anyway, so keep trying. Not working.